Eileen Pollack, The Only Woman in the Room, Why Science is Still a Boys' Club. In The Only Woman in the Room, Why Science is Still a Boys' Club, author Eileen Pollack delves into her own experiences within the male-dominated world of science, investigating the sexism that pervades the field to this day. Growing up, Pollack faced several roadblocks on her journey to study and excel in the subjects she loved. Through a captivating narrative, this book showcases the struggles of women in science and seeks to explain the reasons behind this gender disparity. Offering insights into the continued lack of representation and prejudice that women face in science, technology, engineering, and math (STEM) fields, the book brings forward both historical and contemporary examples, while examining the value of supportive environments and the importance of confidence in fostering success.
Breaking Barriers in STEM. Eileen Pollack grew up in a working-class resort area and faced numerous barriers while pursuing her passion in science and math. Despite being told by her principal that girls were not capable of excelling in those subjects, Pollack persisted and found allies in her high school teachers. With their support, she went on to become valedictorian of her graduating class, aced her advanced placement courses, and got into Yale University. Her story highlights the prejudices and stereotypes that continue to hinder women's progress in STEM fields, despite evidence that shows women are just as talented and committed as men. Overcoming Gender Barriers in Science. Nancy Hopkins Pollack, a member of the 5th class to accept women at Yale, shares her journey of breaking gender barriers in science. Despite initial struggles, such as feeling intimidated and isolated in male-dominated classes, and lacking female role models, she persevered and discovered a talent for abstract physics concepts. She shares how boys are conditioned to tough out difficult courses in unpopular subjects and how the sexism she experienced was rarely obvious. Despite these challenges, Pollack graduated in 3 years with a degree in physics and, more importantly, paved the way for future generations of women to follow in her footsteps. From physics to writing. When a physics major takes a non-fiction writing class, her life takes an unexpected turn. In the seminar, she discovers her hidden talent for writing and starts to crave recognition as much as she does in physics. In this book, a physics major named Pollack recounts her experience taking a non-fiction writing seminar. Initially, the only reason she takes the course is to receive a recommendation letter from her professor for her interest in writing. However, that soon changes as she discovers her hidden passion for writing. For the first time in her academic life, she discovers that writing is a medium where she can earn recognition and acknowledgement beyond the physics courses she had taken. As the course progresses, her writing talent catches the eye of the seminar's professor, Martin Goldman, who encourages her to foster a dialogue between the two cultures. It is through the continuous feedback and open dialogue in the class that Pollack learns to enhance her writing skills and uncover her potential as a writer. By the end of the seminar, Pollack is enrolled in an advanced non-fiction writing class with the Pulitzer Prize winner, John Hersey. Pollack's experience illustrates the value of trying new things, discovering hidden talents, and seeking acknowledgement beyond one's comfort zone. From Math to Writing, A Woman's Journey. When the Yale Daily News asked her to write a feature on the lack of women majoring in math, Pollack found that only one woman graduated from a math major the year before, mostly due to preparation. Women had only studied algebra while men were already exposed to calculus. As a result, Yale formed a new office on the education of women and appointed Connie Jersick as director to change the situation. Later, Yale held its first conference on women in science, sponsored by the National Science Foundation, organized by Pollack and Jersick. Pollack then decided to pursue a physics PhD, but she struggled on the graduate admission exams. She visited the strong physics program at UC Berkeley but couldn't knock on the professor's door and realized she didn't want to spend more years as the only woman in the room. Additionally, Pollack realized that the culture of science can drive away not only female researchers but also men who care about their families. She struggled to combine science and writing careers and wondered whether to stay in science by working in industry or writing grant proposals and articles, or continue her education. Then she received advice from a professor, who recommended becoming a writer who understands physics rather than a physicist dabbling in writing. Pollack followed his advice, left science after her undergraduate program, earned her MFA from the Iowa Writers' Workshop, and became a successful author and writing professor. Women in Science. The author returns to Yale to interview faculty members, her former professors, and science students, finding things different, though still challenging for women in science. She explores the reasons behind the gender disparity in this field and visits her hometown, finding an impoverished school with limited science classes. She concludes that elevating women's confidence, not IQ, is the key to promoting gender equality in science. In Women in Science, Pollack recounts her return to Yale 32 years after her graduation to see if there had been any significant change in women's representation in science and math. She finds that while there have been some improvements, women still face challenges in the field. During her interviews with faculty members and science students, Pollack discovers that non-intensive tracks for math and science are now available to students. Additionally, introductory science classes are taught by tenured professors to help struggling students, and tutoring is available to support students in need. However, there is still work to be done to improve the gender disparity in science, as she recalls feeling lonely as the only woman in her physics and math classes. Pollack returns to her hometown, Liberty, and visits the elementary school she had attended decades earlier. She finds an impoverished school where teachers are less comfortable with science than with other subjects, and only a limited amount of time is devoted to this important subject. Interestingly, the principal believes that both boys and girls start out with equal interest in science, but girls diverge from science in middle school when science becomes more experiment-based. Finally, Pollack concludes that confidence, not IQ, is the key to promoting gender equality in science. She believes that rather than trying to elevate a young woman's IQ, we should focus on elevating her confidence. In Liberty, she observes that seeing a woman teach physics encourages girls to embrace the subject, which ultimately could lead to a brighter future for women in science. Overall, the book provides insight into the reasons behind the gender disparity in science, along with some solutions to encourage greater inclusion of women in the field. Overcoming gender bias in STEM. Despite more women entering STEM fields, they still face hurdles. Female representation in physics or physics-related majors is low. An intense curiosity might be a better predictor of success than gender. Female scientists face grading bias and require support. Many marry male scientists for shared interests and camaraderie. Gender bias must be addressed to create a more inclusive and diverse STEM field. Gender bias in math and science education. Girls and boys have equal abilities in math in early grades, but girls drop out of higher math and science classes due to peer pressure and societal expectations. Minority groups are also underrepresented in science and math. A Yale researcher's report shows gender bias in physics, chemistry, and biology at major research institutions. To cultivate a society where both genders can succeed in careers in science, engineering, and technology, it is essential to nurture and encourage female students in math and science from a young age.
By the end of The Only Woman in the Room, it is clear that women still face significant challenges in the fields of science and math, where they remain underrepresented and undervalued. Eileen Pollack's narrative not only offers a personal account of her own struggles but also underscores the broader issues, examining societal pressures that encourage girls to prioritize their social status over their academic pursuits, and revealing the gender biases that even female professors perpetuate. While some progress has been made in recent years, much work needs to be done to create an inclusive environment that supports and encourages women to pursue STEM careers. In sum, the book delivers both an eye-opening exploration of gender bias in the sciences and a powerful call to action for change.